Dion Boache sharing his musical talent with us. We'll touch base with him later. But right now, we're talking nutrition, and the nutritionist Akusia is here to give us all of her expertise. And today, we're talking about low birth weight and nutrition. So this is for the expectant mothers out there, for women who plan on having children. And it's important to pay attention to nutrition at such a crucial time. All right. Good morning, Akusia.
Good morning, Kokui.
Always good to have you on air.
Always a pleasure.
Okay, let's get into it. Low birth weight. It's linked to nutrition?
Yep.
Okay.
Everything that has to do with how Kokui looks, who Kokui brings forth, is all linked to whatever Kokui is putting in. So low birth weight and nutrition. If you have a child who is below 2.5 kilograms, then it means that your child was born below the normal weight for a baby who turned
like
full term.
Okay.
So if you have a baby who is delivered, let's say at 38 weeks, and then the presentation happens to be something below the expected. In some babies, you can have a baby weighing less than even 1 kg.
Even a full term.
Yeah, and it happens so much that when they come for reviews and at 6 months we have to do introduction of complementary feeds, you see the women go like, oh, your full term. I was like, let this child be. What shows that this child was preterm or had a low birth weight or was in the incubator for weeks? It's so amazing, and even after it has happened, nutrition can help you also make sure that you are making this child look like the other babies. And so sometimes they come 6 months, 8 months, and nothing shows that this child was born with a birth weight which was below.
Okay.
Was so low. So it has to do with the nutrition you are making sure you are having. So for a pregnant woman, I would say that in our part of the world, pregnancies are not planned. And sometimes it's like you see the men angry at their wives for getting pregnant, but you ask yourself, who got her pregnant?
You see, it's not a one-person thing.
So it happens that we don't normally plan pregnancies here. Sometimes you don't plan pregnancies here. And so before the woman gets to know that she's pregnant, she's already entering the second trimester. And so it's like a lot of things has been left or have been left to go a certain way, and there is a need for us to make sure that we are carefully assisting this mother to make sure some of these birth defects like neural tube defect is corrected, and even low birth weight. So there are other contributory factors that can lead to a low birth weight child. If you are a woman who does a lot of alcohol, you can have a low birth weight child. If you smoke, cigarette has effects on the outcome of pregnancy. And so illicit drugs also. So you have people always, okay, I have this headache. Then I go like, oh, Kokui, when I had the headache yesterday, I had this. So you can also have it. But we forget that makeup is totally different. Even if we were a twin, or if we were my twin, or we were twins, definitely there are certain things, our DNA, totally different. And so what works for you will not necessarily work for the next person. And so you also have to make sure that, especially if you're a pregnant woman, you just don't take any medication. You need to ask your gynecologist. And when it has to do with even supplements, you can talk to your gyne or a nutritionist to be guided as to what will best be fit for you and your condition or your pregnancy.
You know, we hear it all the time. We're told pregnant women should not smoke, should not use alcohol, but people still do, I suppose. People do,
because sometimes the appetite is affected. Because especially for the first trimester, that's the first 3 months, and a bit of the second trimester, the appetite of the woman is affected. And sometimes they go like, oh, I'm used to my red wine, which contains a bit of alcohol. And so they see it to be playing safer because I'm not taking apethashi. So why do you think this is alcohol? But then we have some volume of alcohol sitting in the red wine. And so even though it's good for the heart, there is a way to make sure you do something great for your heart and the heart of your unborn baby. And it's to make sure you have something like calcium-rich foods. We'll talk about this for the second trimester, but make sure that your iron and folate intake is great.
The folic acid, especially.
So there is a reason why we give folic acid. Like I said, we don't plan pregnancy, so the folate stores are always depleted. And you need iron folate to make sure the blood health of this woman or the hemoglobin levels are the normal levels. Because if you have a lower HB, chances that you have a low birth weight child is higher as compared to a woman who gave birth with the right hemoglobin level. So the WHO will say that 12 grams per deciliter to 16 grams per deciliter is what is termed as a healthy or normal hemoglobin for a woman, and for a man, because a man is involved in pregnancy, it's 14 to 18. But then in clinical settings, if you come with 11 grams per deciliter, it's accepted as normal. So work with 11 grams per deciliter if you're a pregnant woman. And then make sure for the first trimester, that is 0 to 12 weeks, you are paying attention to your iron, your folates, especially those two especially, but then vitamin D will come in, a bit of calcium will come in, but basically for the first trimester, focus is on iron and folic acid, because the first trimester, a lot of vital organs develop. And so there is a very important a need for every woman to make sure every pregnancy runs on blood. We are running on blood, even though I'm not pregnant. If I am not pregnant, I am menstruating. If a man is not menstruating or getting pregnant, he's running on blood. And so without blood, we are nothing. And so it's very important that you take good care of your blood health, which can also influence the outcome of that pregnancy. Neural tube birth defect can be something that can be heartbreaking. Sometimes you see couples go through a lot to make sure this happens, only to deliver or have a child who has these conditions. So that is for the first trimester. Trimester 2, that is also from 13 weeks. 13 weeks. We don't do 1 month, 2 months. We deal with weeks. So 13 to 27. And so for that too, you need to still maintain your iron and folate, because iron folates for the hemoglobin, and hemoglobin you need it for the entire period.
Everything. Okay, so we're talking folates, hemoglobin, iron.
Yeah.
Talk to us about the foods that contain this that women can eat when they're pregnant. And even though, you know, sometimes your taste changes during pregnancy and you crave certain things and other things are disgusting to you, even things that you liked before, you find you don't want to eat them. But what are some of the things that we can eat?
So every meat, every protein, let me put it that way, every protein. So even if you're a vegetarian, mushrooms are there, beans are there, all kinds of beans. So beans is a first class protein. So if you are even taking the whole turkey and I'm eating beans, we're on the same level.
Really?
Yes.
You know, funny enough, when I was pregnant, especially with my fourth, I'm not someone who eats a lot of meat normally. I used to crave steak like nothing. Hey, like proper steak or meat. Me, I could chew. Yes. I don't know what that was about.
It happened. There was a lady who ate cheese throughout the pregnancy, but as soon as she delivered, she was like, go to healthy. It happens. It happens. So for the craving, sometimes you can't do anything about it. I'm not pregnant, but sometimes I get down looking for more to buy because I'm craving for that, and that's exactly what I want to have. I never believed I could order pizza, so I can call and go like, I want pizza. Because sometimes, I don't remember the last time I ordered it, but sometimes the craving is so strong. You just have that feeling that is what you need to have. And for a pregnant woman, until that is satisfied, sometimes they don't feel for anything. I'm telling you,
nothing else. It's like, I need to chew meat today.
So make sure.
And shit or pepper. Yeah, I know.
So make sure every protein, so being fish, being beef, being mutton, being chiffon, being turkey, whatever works for you, you are making sure it's part of your daily meals. So I go through daily meals with pregnant women, and I go like, for this morning, what did you have? You can go with omelette.
Yes.
Egg is a superfood, a first-class protein food. So you can have omelette. Omelette means lots of vegetable in eggs fried together, not the one they sell outside where they count the onions for you. No, but something you have made yourself in the house, a lot of vegetables pumped in there with your eggs fried. And then you can have, I love the yellow corn, because it's naturally fortified with iron. And so I love the yellow corn as compared to the white corn. And so you can have your porridge, and then have a bit of nuts, because some people, depending on the HB you presented to me, I may decide to be stiff on you with your calcium intake, because if you're not careful and don't do it right, the calcium can be an inhibitor or a reason why your HB levels are low. So if you're somebody who loves to have a lot of milk in your food, because I always go beyond the 40 ml of milk for my body size, I do like 60. So times half of what I need to take for my body at a meal, because I believe that measuring 4 tablespoons is just not enough for me. If you're a pregnant woman who loves a lot of milk products, sometimes the juices you are having, there are a lot of calcium in there, then I will be stiff a bit on you, because you don't want to also suppress the absorption of the iron and folate, which is very critical for healthy red blood cells, for healthy hemoglobin, to make sure the wrong birth outcomes are eliminated with it. And an example is what we are talking about, low birth weight. So you need to yes, there is a lot of tricks. So now you don't go like, I don't need somebody to teach me what to eat, because it can affect whatever it is that you are carrying in your womb. So that is it for the second trimester and the question you asked. Then second trimester, omega-3 fatty acid, very critical too, because you need to make sure the brain health of this child is also protected. It's very, very delicate, because when it comes to pregnancy and the first 1,000 days of life, or the first 1,000 days of life of a child, that happens to be the 9 months the child will stay in your womb, plus the first 2 years of that child's life, is the most crucial period in the entire life of that human being. And so if things go wrong, it can find a way of affecting them till they leave here. So you need to make sure you are paying much attention to it. Trimester 3, that is anything above week 28 till baby drops. In some people 40, in some people 39, in some people 37, 36, and baby comes out perfectly well. You need to make sure that calcium is deliberately fused into your daily meals. And so for some people, they are given a calcium supplement like Idios or what have you, depending on the gynae who is taking care of you. And even for that, you need to know when to be taking them, because you don't want nutrient interaction. Like I said, for some people, it is what they are eating suppressing the absorption of the iron and folate. An example of folate-rich foods, every leafy green peculiar to you, most of the pulses, nuts, and seeds, so the beans, the seeds, they are all blessed as far as you making, if you are incorporating the nut seeds or the pulses, legumes family into your meals, plus the leafy greens peculiar to you, and then the proteins or the meat, fish, what have you, eggs peculiar to you. If you're making them part of your meal, you will be blessing yourself as far as your iron and folate stores are concerned. So that is it for the 3 trimesters.
Fantastic. Where can people reach you, Akosia?
Okay, so you can reach me on Instagram at The Nutritionist Akosia, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Nutritionist Akosia, and you can WhatsApp me on 0243350206.
Awesome. Please touch base with her if you want more information on how to eat right to prevent low birth weight and to prevent other complications that can occur from pregnancy. Pregnancy, dear Charlie, there's so many things, right?
Yep.
But eating well can save a lot of them.